I'm going to show you my quick way to process tomatoes when the garden is overloaded and there are too many. I've already done 2 blenders full, and I'm going to do one now and show you what I do. This is the quickest way I've found to take care of tomatoes. So I just cut out the stem end, and I found that using cherry tomatoes makes excellent tomato sauce. This is all going in the freezer when I'm done. And these little cherries, these are not, these are Celebrity, but these little cherry tomatoes are so sweet and just make absolutely wonderful tomato sauce. So all I do is snap off the stem, just take that off and put that in a bucket that's going in the chicken bucket, snapping off, put in the blender, and then these are the tiny little Celebrities that didn't get enough water, that aren't huge. And just, if they've already got the stem off, they can go right in. And if not, you take the stem off, and I'm throwing that over here in a container. And then I fill up the blender, and I will come back here once I have this filled and show you what I do. So we're on the last few in the bowl. I wished I'd done this from the beginning. If the tomatoes are large, I cut the cores out and often cut them in half. If they're medium sized to these little cherries, they just go in whole. It makes no difference. And the idea of this is to do it quickly so that you can get them in the freezer. What I'm going to show you in a minute, these could also be put in pint jars and water processed, or quart if you wanted, but I find the pint jars are plenty for spaghetti sauce for just me. So that's the last. I'm saving, I think I'll put this one in. It's got a little bit of sunburn on the bottom, so cut that out. Cut out the core. And pop it in. The rest that I have over here, I'm saving to eat fresh, but it's just me, so I don't need a whole lot. And of course there's more ripening in the garden. Then I just push the high button on this 1970s Osterizer blender, which is fabulous. Well, on all the others, I haven't had to do this at all, push down. It's just gone ahead and liquefied it. So, that one took longer than all the others have. I take this over. I'm going to try it like this. Oh, that's not the place to put fingers, obviously. Let's see. So, I carry this over to the stove where I have a large pot and pour this in. So this is the sauce in the thing. It's kind of light colored. I rinse out the blender. It's the first time I've done this, holding the camera, and I take that so that I get all this tomato into the pot, and then I put it on low for a little bit. And the idea behind this is to destroy the enzymes before it's frozen. So once I heat this up and it starts to boil for a second or two, I leave it for a minute to 2 minutes to 3 minutes max, stirring the whole time, usually 3 minutes. Stirring the whole time, and then I turn it off and I let it cool. And when it's cool, I put it into little Ziploc plastic bags and throw it out in the freezer in the garage. Now, as I said, this also could be put in pint jars and then water bath canned. And at that point, you wouldn't need to do this heating step. You just take all of this liquid that you've got and put it in the jars and can it. I'm going to freeze today because the house is very hot anyway, and I don't want to heat it up more. So we're just going to pop them in Ziploc baggies into the freezer. So this is all that pureed tomato, skins and all. This saves a whole lot of time having to de-skin things. So this tomato sauce has cooked down just a little. I got busy watching Linda's Pantry, so it went longer than I had planned, but it makes a better tomato sauce if you cook it down a little. But you only have to cook it for a couple of minutes in order to destroy those enzymes. So I'm now going to put this into bags. And for me, because it's just me, a cup to a cup and a half is perfect for spaghetti, and then that gives me several meals out of it. So I put it in the bag, we Ziploc, and I just lay them down here. They'll be going to the freezer in a few minutes. And I'll turn this off before I write the dates, but I'm just going to put the month and the year on here because I have quite a bit in the freezer from a year ago, and I want to use those first. And those I didn't label, so this year I'm starting to label for the tomato sauce. So you just open up the bag. These are freezer Ziploc bags because they could be in there a while, and the sandwich ones don't hold it just as much. So cup to a cup and a half, usually a cup and a half is what I put in. Squeeze the air out and zip. And I just stack them up here, and then I'll be labeling. So this was a small little batch of tomatoes that I picked, but it was thyme, and tomatoes that I couldn't eat because none of the kids are here right now. It's just me. So again, and this isn't quite a full cup, so that's why I go a cup and a half usually. And that usually makes a spaghetti for me that will give me at least 2 meals, sometimes 3. And I volunteer at school every week where I taught for many, many years. And I eat lunch in the staff room with the other teachers. So if I have enough here to make leftovers, that works really well for me because then I have something to take to school. I was watching Linda on Linda's Pantry. She had gone down to the waterfront and gotten tuna and had canned her tuna, and she was doing a taste test on that. And her home canned tuna was much better than tuna that she's loved for years normally. She said whenever possible she was going to do that now. And then this last amount that's in the bag, or in the container, I'm probably going to pour into the bag. can get that to set up, we're going to take a spatula and get the last little bits of tomato sauce here so we don't waste any. Went to the effort to make it. Don't dump the pot that still has some in it. So, some wide. All right. Now I'll feel okay about washing that out because I haven't wasted much. Whoop, forgot to get the air out. Always helps them store a little flatter. All right, so I will use a Sharpie and write the month and the year on here, and then I go out to the garage and put them in my chest freezer. So, how to quickly take care of tomatoes. This did not take long. No peeling. It just whirs up in the blender, and this makes delicious tomato sauce. And as I said, I really like the little cherry tomatoes for tomato sauce because they're so sweet. But I use whatever I have. And the birds, which have been out there, have been pecking, I just cut that part off. And I've got to say, this made my house just smell delicious this afternoon. It really smelled good in here when I cooked this down a little bit. You walk in and it smells like you're in somebody's grandma's Italian kitchen. Only I ended up having salmon